Hey, you ever buy a cordless tool in anybody's system and go, wow, this works great. What else do they have? Hey, well, that's what happened to me. So stay tuned, and I'm going to cover these 3 tools that I purchased because I have a new battery platform. So years and years ago, I think it was 2018 or 2017, I purchased an Ego Power Plus lawnmower, my first one. I was so enamored on how well this worked. So I said, I wonder what else they got. So I explored a few options and I got the multi-head system. By the way, we have videos on the SedgeTool channel down below in the description. But not to go on and on too much, I also started to wonder or figure out, wow, I can eliminate all the gasoline in my home. And when I'm on the road traveling, my wife can also use the lawnmower. So guess what? I started purchasing other tools, and here's some of them I've had for quite some time. So in eliminating those gasoline yard tools, I had the brands Honda, Steel, and I loved them. But you know what? It was the pull, and it was kind of a drag. And I said, I don't want any gasoline around the shop and, gasoline stabilizers. It was just a hassle, changing oil, doing all of that. So being happy with the Ego Power Plus system, I decided to buy this in 2021. This is the 650 CFM blower. And I gave my other one away to a friend. One of the things I want to point out, when you're looking to purchase, like I did, I've bought all this, nobody's given me anything. I look at a couple things. What's a bare tool? Or do I need enough extra battery? So I kind of juggle it in my head. What am I getting? And there's a few things that I've gotten bare tool because I have plenty of batteries now. But I bought this one, like I said, in 2021 with an extra battery. So when you get it, it comes with this nozzle here, but it comes with 2 tips. One's a tapered nozzle and one's a flat nozzle. Now, when you look at the specs on this, it's 600 CFM, that's cubic feet per minute. But with just the straight tube here, it's 160 miles an hour. Let me tell you, this thing is unbelievable, okay? Also, but if you and they did the crank the stats, it's 180 miles per hour with one of the nozzles. I just leave the flat nozzle on. I use it for blowing grass off the driveway after I mow, but more so, and you'll see in the application footage we've integrated into the video, where I use this for blowing leaves and gathering them before I mulch them. And it's pretty simple to put these on. You just got to depress right here and it slides right on and you're ready to go. So this is an important thing to remember, and you'll see why in a few minutes, because of an accessory that I have that I purchased. Right here, to remove this whole nozzle or blower area, there's a little tab here. You depress it and it comes right off. Put the battery on, it just slips on all the way, and there's a release tab here to take it off. So it's variable speed in the trigger, but you also have an on-off switch on the other side here. I'll turn it around. So if you want to run it continuously and not depress the trigger, you can turn it all the way up, even to its highest level. And I just blew everything off the shelf in the shop. So variable speed is in the trigger, and you can actually hear it as I bring it up. But there's a secondary button on top. It's the boost button. It actually says turbo. And this thing rock and rolls. Listen to this. You can hear it amp up. So I really like this for blowing leaves, like I said earlier. But also, I bought this attachment, and I'll cover it right now, for cleaning my gutters. I got the hook. Just kidding. This is the AGC 1000. It's an accessory for the blower, and it's worth every daggone penny. It actually articulates it. The hook is here, and it articulates so it fits in your gutters to blow out those leaves and whirligigs from your maple trees, and it fits right on here, and I'm going to show you how to assemble it. So the first thing when you're putting anything on and off a power tool, make sure you take the battery off. First thing I'm gonna do is remove this nozzle here. Okay, and this part right here, you can see the tab right here, fits right on. So here is the first tip. And I'm glad you're watching because I struggled with this. I put this on first. No, assemble the different segments that come with this, and it's determined on how high your gutters are. So I know I leave one off like this every year because there's a particular gutter at my house. You'll see me cleaning it. Okay, and that screws on there. So what I do is I configure this whole system first, and they just screw together like this. Here's another tip for you. Depending on which direction you're going to take the blower up and down your gutter, this, I control the direction right here at the very top. Once I configure this piece to use, this blower port, it's so much easier now to slide on. I put the battery on there for balance, and guess what? I am now ready to go.
Boy, this sure makes it a lot easier than getting up on the ladder.
I bought a 16-inch chainsaw. You've probably seen our video on the multi-head. Yes, I have a pole saw. It's a small bar on there. It works terrific. I actually lent it to a friend who cut down a felled tree with it or broke it up, and he was cutting bigger limbs. Well, I wanted something in my arsenal that I also had a gasoline-powered chainsaw. I've had one since I was a kid, and I wanted to switch it over. So I bought this 16-inch chainsaw in 2023. I bought it with a battery, just to have that backup battery. It was a killer deal. That was, I think I got it on Amazon. By the way, I'll have links down below for all this stuff, so you know the exact model number. And, and sometimes they change a model number and add different features, so they have a price reduction. That's what I've seen. Hopefully I'm saying the right thing. Eliminating gas and having a chainsaw on board if a tree goes down or if it's larger limbs to break up stuff. I've actually lent it out to a neighbor or two on the other side of the street, and it's just a great thing to have in your yard tools. Okay, now's the most important part, talking about chainsaws. I'm not the expert. I've just been using one my entire life, and I learned early on all the safety you have to take to use it, all the techniques to be safe, but also the right way to cut larger logs. And will this handle it? Everything I have thrown at it handles it. But once again, this is pretty much a disclaimer. Don't go and get a chainsaw and watch this video, because I'm not going to talk about technique or anything like that. Go watch. There's a ton of great videos on limbing trees with chainsaws, but also breaking down logs. There's a lot of experts out there, so go check that out. So as I go through this and show you some of the key features that I've used on here, once again, guess what is off of the saw is the battery. All right? Pay attention to that, always. Okay, so this is the handle. This is the other handle. But you have a third handle. It's called the brake handle. And when it's on, you'll see red right in here. But to start it, you pull it back. It won't run if it's like that. And this also helps if you're getting kicked back on something, your handle automatically go against that and stop the chain from running. It's pretty simple to run a chainsaw, but the first thing I do is setting up in the morning is checking blade tension and checking my bar oil. So really quick, that's the bar and that's the chain, and you need lubrication because it fits in the groove on the bar. Hopefully that makes sense. So to fill it, that's your minimum line. So what I do is I take it like this, and I still have this steel bar oil. It's great stuff. I have just a little left over. I'll get the Ego stuff next time. You pour it in and you make sure it's at the minimum level. And do I take it out every time afterwards? No. But I always make sure I have a cloth underneath in case it leaks out. It's no big deal. Okay, but make sure you have enough bar oil in there. Okay, next thing I do is check the tension on the bar, the chain to the bar. And the way I was taught is I just give it a little tension here, okay? And this part here that rides in the groove, I'm gonna really pull it out. Usually just with a little tension, sit still in there. And so if I need more tension, the tensioner knob's here. If I need less tension, if it's too tight, okay, and won't move, I can loosen it up, or I can get more tension in here. In other words, what this does is this prevents the chain as you're cutting from being thrown from the bar. This should be on every chainsaw right here. These are the barbs. Usually when I'm going into a log and starting it, those barbs are engaged so I don't get kickback. Okay, so I'm gonna start it up, and I can't because I need to press this button. This is a lock, not on, but off button. I have to depress this. Okay, and then it runs. And that's a great safety feature because if my hand ever disengages from this, it'll automatically shut off. It's an automatic lock-off button. 2. So hopefully, or eventually, I'll do a little bit of chainsaw maintenance with this. I can show you how to sharpen these teeth with a simple file. To access that, it's right here. This flips up, and I could take it apart, take the chain off, do some maintenance. But on-the-go maintenance is right here. There are a couple holes up here. There's a large one and a small one. This is something you should do I do it every time I turn on the saw. I clean it out. I'll clean out this one. That's not necessary, but this one is really important because what that does is there's another gear up here on the top, and I'll just take a little lube and spray it in there every single time, and that lubricates that top gear. So there you go. The perfect application with the chainsaw is I'm going to reclaim this shrub, but you'll see the thicker trunk down below. I do have the pole saw attachment, but this just makes quick work of it. So this was an impulse buy. It was a killer deal. Like I need another light. Okay, but this is a job site light, and I bought it on 11/24 of 2023 because I register all my tools on the Ego website. You gotta do it. That way there you can track your warranties and your batteries and stuff like that. But it was a killer deal. It was a Black Friday special, and it was too good to pass up. I didn't buy it with a battery. Okay, it's a 56 volt. This goes up to 10,000 lumens. I'm gonna explain the buttons on it. I'll explain the panels. You can use it as an emergency flasher. It's got some great features to it. Do I use it a lot? No, I usually like small task lighting lights, but this is fantastic to have. So first thing you're gonna notice, it's very compact. There's a couple ways to hold this, a couple ways to set it up. It's pretty simple. It only weighs 9 pounds in this format without the battery. So you can unfold these two panels here and then lift it up, get this handle out of the way, and you have 4 light panels. Ooh, little spooky, scary. Hopefully this comes through. We want to do it justice. We're about 6 feet from the sys wall. We'll show you the different levels of illuminance. But I'm going to hit the first button, and the first button is the panels, and hopefully I get this right. I think I'm just shooting from the center panel right now, okay, and then I hit this, then it's all 4 panels, and then when I hit it again, it's just the top 3 panels. This is at its lowest setting, and I believe it's at 640 lumens. So let's talk about, we have it set up with all 4 panels facing forward. When I turned it on, just the center panel was on. So I hit the panel button, And now we're at all 4 panels. I have it in the lowest lumen setting, and that's 600 lumen. Okay, you're gonna see how daggone bright. There's 5 levels to this. But what I wanna do is cycle through the panel, and if I hit it again, it's just the top 3. I hit it again, I'm down to 1. So I'm gonna turn it on all 4. And then I'm gonna hold the button. And guess what? It starts to flash at the highest lumen rate. Okay, here comes the fun part. And I don't wanna blind you on this. Okay, so we are now 10 feet away from the sys wall in the SedgeTool shop. And I'm gonna hit another button. There's a plus and minus here next to on either side. So Chris is gonna come over here, cameraman, and start shooting the wall. This is at 600 lumen. There are 5 levels, okay? So there's 1, there's 2, and you can control the span, but I got it all the way out. Okay, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. Okay, we are at 6,400 lumen. Now, on the plus button, if I hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, check this out. It goes to 10,000 lumens. So on the bottom, you may have this, not even know. That's a 5/8 11 for a tripod, and that's a 1/4 20 for a tripod. You could hang it like this. You could take it, hang it like this with a hook, an S-hook or a carabiner. But also buried on the bottom are these 2 hooks that you can pull out, and you can hang it just like this. So you're gonna ask, what are the run times? Well, depending on the battery you put on and the amp hour. But in the owner's manual, it says, in the highest setting, know that boost setting? It'll run for an hour and then cycle down to level 5 for 2 hours of runtime. That's pretty impressive. And if you leave it at 600 lumens, they say you can have runtime, that's the lowest setting, for 36 hours. So I haven't run it that long, but boy, you get some longevity with this, and it's all portable. Okay, so to wrap this up, you may be thinking, wow, the SedgeTool shop is sponsored by Ego Power Plus. I'm gonna tell you something. I've purchased every one of these tools. I have never been given anything by Ego. I like to talk about stuff in the SedgeTool shop that I love. And this is a great system of yard tools. So hopefully this video has been helpful. I know that these tools have been helpful in my shop, and I continue to grow the Ego Power Plus system. So as we say in the SedgeTool shop, oh, wait a minute, one more question. Quick question of the video at the very end. What is your favorite place to get chicken wings? And do you like them bone-in or boneless? Because Sedgeley love wingies. And leave your comments below, please. So as we say from the SedgeTool shop, be positive, stay sharp, and we mean wicked sharp.